Hi everyone, my name is Mariina Hallikainen and I'm the CEO of Colossal Order. And I'm just super excited to be here and talk about our take on a classic city builder, City Skylines. So let's have a look first on the trailer. Okay, a couple of words about the company behind the game. So Colossal Order, we're located in Tampere, Finland, and we founded the studio back in 2009. So 6 years ago, we started with 5 people, and we're still a small team, but now we're 14 skilled individuals. And it's really all about the team. It's about our passion for games, it's about what we want to do, and that's kind of what Colossal Order is all about. And there's actually a story behind it, because we started the company back in 2009 having the idea that one day we will make a city builder, and that day has come alive this year when the game was released. But still, a couple of words about the past. So we have now released 3 titles. All of those are simulation games, because that's really what we are good at and what we want to do. And as we did have the dream of making city builder, with a small team we had back in 2009, we were scared to go and attempt such a big game. So we made Cities in Motion, which is a mass transit simulator, and we actually used our in-house technology to do that. And then we made a sequel to Cities in Motion, and City Skylines both have been developed with Unity. And all of our games have been published by Paradox Interactive, Swedish publisher, and it is really something that we feel that having a publisher is so that they handle the things they are good at and we handle the things we are good at. So basically, it is just about allocating resources and thinking what we are good at, we want to focus on. And it is really something that I would like to talk about also about the design process we have at Colossal Order. So in the team, I already mentioned the importance of the team. So it is really important that everybody has a voice. Everybody gets to pitch in the design process, especially in the early stages. So we actually do have a wiki page, internal wiki page, that everybody gets to suggest new game ideas. One of them, of course, was the city builder. Another one, my idea about making, because I love horses, so I really want to make a stable manager simulation game. I think that would be huge in Germany. But the problem is that nobody in the team really shares my vision or idea of this game yet. But let's see, in a couple of years, maybe I'll force them to do this. But it's really important that everybody gets to have the voice, and this continues to the prototyping phase. So quick prototyping, where it is really important to make sure that the design is fun and it is working. And this is something we try to do before production, to make sure that all the design works as we meant it to. And at this point, everybody's input is still completely welcome. There is always something to think about with the production, because when entering to the production, there's not so much room for the prototyping, and it's not so easy to implement new ideas at this point. But this actually, the whole process we have, this is from the early design, prototyping to production. This is what we do beginning of the entire project, but as well as for each individual features. So we try to make sure that we allocate enough time and we have time buffers in the schedule to make sure that if we didn't nail a design of certain feature in the early stage, we still have time to do that while in production. And I have a very concrete example of this, because the team was one day wondering about like, how do we make it so that in City Skylines the players get to see feedback, and they were talking about newspaper. And I happened to walk by and I was like, newspaper, like that's not modern at all. Come on, guys. How about we add some kind of social feature? Like, think about Twitter, for example. And it kind of was the beginning of the blue bird you can see up there in the screenshot as well. This has been one of the more controversial features, and in a sense that before we released the game, people seem to really hate the blue bird, and I'm pretty sure the team doesn't want to hear my opinions ever again. While they're actually working in the game. But this is just a quick example of how we work. It's when somebody has an idea and we feel it's a good idea, we really want to take advantage of that. And this is just basically about scheduling and, of course, the fast prototyping that we can do with Unity. We have limited resources. So still about the prototyping, if you think about it, that we need to be able to make also production quality very quickly. And that's always when we prototype, we aim to reach production quality whenever possible. And then, of course, all features, when they are in, we start to polish them as much as we have time to, basically. How we work in the company is also so that we have one designer. So City Skylines was actually made with one designer and a programmer pair, so that the designer doesn't necessarily have coding experience, and they are not limited by the technical aspects of making games. So they can really think outside the box, and then it's the programmer's job to think how to make this design work. And this is something that I feel is very important, because it kind of pushes the limits we have. So it is something that you can see in City Skylines, for example, and I'll come a little bit later to that as well. So about technology. Cities in Motion, the first one was made with in-house technology, and this was something that we had actually, or one of our original team members had been working on for 6 years before we ever started the company, which is a huge amount of work, maintaining your own technology. And after Cities in Motion, we realized that we had the need to make bigger and better games. And it was completely impossible to sustain our in-house technology without huge resources, which we didn't have. So we had to opt out for our third-party technology. Unity engine became reality at that point for us, because we were thinking about which technology to use. Unity was affordable. From business side, this is important to me, especially. And some of the team members had already experience using Unity, and they liked it, so we definitely wanted to give it a go. We noticed that it was extremely fast to adopt. And the learning curve is really soft, because everybody in the team were able to start using Unity pretty much immediately. And I noticed that the iteration time greatly improved, which was very, very important, because if you think about having the team, we had 7 people at this point in the company. Cities in Motion 2 was developed in 1.5 years, which is a very, very short time for a big simulation game as Cities in Motion 2 was. Then we get to City Skylines. This, as I have mentioned now probably many times, that we really wanted to make a city builder, and City Skylines is really the dream project for us. And we basically increased the number of team members. So when we started City Skylines, we had nine team members, and we basically doubled the programming resource by having 2 programmers in this project. And of course, if you think about the team, you have to realize that team of 9 basically means 8 developers and me. So we still managed to make this game in 1.5 years, which is really, really amazing. And it is really something that we are very, very happy with using Unity. If you think about City Skylines, it was released 10th of March this year, and it pretty much blew us away by how people found the game. It really just went better than we ever expected. We knew that we had a good game in our hands, but to actually have people embrace it so quickly. And just to give a couple of examples, the game sold 250,000 copies in the first 24 hours. We basically broke all of our publishers' records in the fastest-selling game of theirs. Over 1 million copies sold now. But what is even more important to me personally is that the modding community embraced City Skylines immediately. After the first 24 hours, we had over 3,000 items in the Steam Workshop, and over 45,000 items today, which is absolutely fantastic. Then moving on to the goals we had with City Skylines. So what we really first and foremost wanted to do would have big maps for the players to play in, the sandbox gameplay, just to make it so that you have all the room to create your own cities. And this is always a trade-off between performance and memory, right? So we had to get really creative on how to make this all happen. And as Unity has a lot of great features, we wanted to kind of think really outside the box. And we added a couple of features like the water system. We have a dynamic water system in the game, and we couldn't use the physics engine in the scale we wanted, which was already in Unity, so we wrote something on top of that. So it's also something that you kind of can build upon the engine as well. Of course, I don't really recommend our the two programmers to do this too much, because it actually takes a lot of time, so you have to be careful when you're planning these things. But it's like, don't be afraid to go out there. And then another important thing for us in terms of what we wanted to achieve with City Skylines was to have a very deep simulation. And we actually have all the citizens, vehicles, everything you see moving in the screen, those are all individually simulated. And this is really something that creates realistic traffic, it creates realistic flows. And a citizen you see there, they actually have a name, they have an age, they have a workplace, they live somewhere in the city. All of this is simulated. They are born there and eventually they die. So it is very much about those citizens in the city. And this is all possible with managed threads, and no native code was used for this simulation. Then, of course, as John already mentioned earlier, sorry, did I manage to? Oh yeah, sorry. So visually appealing games. We want to make beautiful games. And it is really something that at Colossal Order we haven't been able to have the visuals always to the top priority thinking about our earlier games. But with City Skylines we really just put effort to following artistic guidelines, to the consistency to make a beautiful set of buildings, beautiful set of visuals. And we are actually really happy with the result. I hope you like what you see. And all shaders were written using the Unity surface shaders. Then my favorite topic, the modding support. It is something that we learned very much with Cities in Motion, the first one, when we had used our own technology. And people took the game and they basically broke it to pieces. They just started to do their own thing with it, and we had no idea what was happening, pretty much. The only thing I realized is that this is fantastic, this is great. People really embracing our game and making something of their own with it. And it was really, really great to see, and we wanted to support this in the future games as well. With Cities in Motion 2, unfortunately, we failed on this because we didn't realize how we could make it easy for the modders to mod a game made with Unity. So we put a lot of effort to making modding tools for City Skylines. So what we have is we have in-game map editor, so the players can actually create their own landscapes and play on their own creation to start their own city in a landscape they want. We also have an in-game asset editor, So with the asset editor, people have been creating amazing looking parks, intersections. They can take road pieces and create something of their own. And this has been definitely one of the more popular type of items that we have in the Steam workshop. Then I was thinking that there's the easiness for the artists with Unity, because they can import their creations there in the editor side, but this is not something that the player has. So what we made is a custom assets importing. And with this one, it is possible so that the players can actually import their own creations to the game, and then they can see them in the city. So in theory, it is possible for them to actually create visuals of their own. Of course, this would take a lot of time for them to do, but it is something that you could make an entire new theme for the game. And there was some native code used in this. And then the last modding tool, which is very much about programming, so this is something that I am not too familiar with, but the modding API. And it is really just, it's a glorified plugin system to make it so that the players can actually tweak gameplay values. They can go into the game and create something of their own in there in terms of the gameplay. And this is really, really amazing to have, and to notice what the modders have done with it is that they have used our modding API, and they have totally gone beyond that. It is really amazing. There's actually a mod where you can take control of an airplane in the city and fly around there. This is totally something we did not anticipate. And then, what is next for Colossal Order? Of course, we want to continue working on City Skylines. It is really something that we want to bring new features to. We want to make big expansions. We will have both paid and free content for the players. And with Unity's help, if you think about the new plans they have, and I'm actually really looking forward to reading that roadmap, we had no idea, for example, in the beginning of the project that there would be a frame debugger and command buffers available for us. So these are the things that we want to embrace and take the game forward with help of Unity. And both of these, as well as the help of the community and the modding, we just really want to prolong the lifetime of the game. So we can keep on working on City Skylines for a long time in the future. Of course, this is not all what we want to do. We have plans to start another game project with the 14 people we have now. It's plenty of people, so we can totally take on another big game. But it's really all about the great ideas. It's about the great idea, having the skilled team, and a really good technology to making a great game. So I hope you will enjoy your time in Unite, and I'm extremely happy to be here. And if you have any questions, come and talk to me later on. So thank you so much.